Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today I am back with another video, and this time we're going to be doing a full set, and I've had a lot of people requesting a real-time video, so this is going to definitely be actual real live time. So as you can see, the first thing that we're doing is just pushing back the cuticles, and when we're doing this is just going to expose the new growth and also help with reducing lifting. So once we finish pushing back the cuticles, I'm going to go in with my Melody Susie's Scarlet Nail Drill, which I do have a promo code for. And we're just using the 180 sanding band to remove the shine from the natural nail. And then I'm also using the same one to kind of just trim up the, or really just file down the, length on the nails. And that kind of just saves us some time from having to go in and clip them down and then hand filing them down. So we just kind of do a 3-in-1 here by removing the shine and then just filing the nails down a little bit. But as always, we start from the right side going over to the left side, just going back and forth, and then just removing the shine from the rest of the nail. Remember that this step is really important. You want to get as close as you can to that cuticle area because that's where your lifting will start at. So make sure that when you're removing the shine from the like the whole nail, that you keep your drill bit like flat on the nail, and then whenever you go around the cuticle area, kind of have it like at a 45-degree angle while you file around there, because for that part you're going to be using like the very tip or of the drill bit. And then when I'm doing this, I'm using my drill at 5,000 RPMs, and then of course you could adjust it to whatever speed you feel comfortable using it at. That's just what I like it at, which is still pretty like I would say average speed, not too fast, not too slow. But as a beginner, you still are getting comfortable with using your drill. So if you want to use it at a slower speed, you can just mess with it. And then I know that all drills, of course, are not the same. The speeds may be different. So all you have to do is just kind of mess with your drill, speed it up, slow it down, and then whatever you feel comfortable using it at is what, will be fine for you. But anyways, we're going to go ahead and finish removing the shine. And then after that, we can move on to the next step. But again, I'll be sure to leave the link down below to the drill. And then also I do want to make sure that I mention, I know I get this question asked a lot, the mat that's underneath with my logo is actually a card magnet that I got, or that I made on Vistaprint. So if you guys are interested, you can most definitely go on there and make your own. And this is really the only reason, or the only time I use it is for when I'm recording videos. I know it was quite a few different people stealing my videos and posting them on their YouTube, not sharing but actually posting it on their channel, which is why I decided to just get this done instead of having to add each logo or the logo to each video. I can just use the mat. But anyways, we're gonna go ahead and finish this off, and then we'll move on to the next step. Alrighty, so next we're going to go in and apply the nail tips. So when we're applying the nail tips, remember that you want them to fit exactly from sidewall to sidewall. The nail tips that I'm using today are actually the McCart nail tips, and these are actually press-on nails, but I like to use them as tips because they're already that coffin shape. So as you guys know, I had been having problems with my hand hurting from me, just doing nails so much. So it kind of helps me just a little bit, kind of. My hands still be hurting, but it kind of helps a little bit, because they're already, again, that coffin shape. But yeah, so we're going to go ahead and apply the nail tips. These you can find on Amazon. They are the McCart nail tips, and they come in a size 0 to a number 9. And as you can see, I just applied the glue right on the tip. Just place them on the free edge and glue them down. And then as always, I'm using the KDS glue, which will be back on my website once I restock. And of course, I'll be sure to keep you guys informed about that. And then also be sure to follow me on Instagram so you guys can be updated. Sometimes I post on my Instagram before I post on YouTube. So just go on there and follow me so you guys, get the first pick on the website once it's back up. But anyways, we're gonna go ahead and finish applying the nail tips. Remember, you want them to fit exactly from sidewall to sidewall. You don't want them to be too big or too small, because if not, they will lift or break. Alrighty, so after we finish applying the nail tips, we're just going to go in and redefine the shape. So as always, following the sides and the free edge at exactly a 90-degree angle, making sure that we hold our file really straight. That way we get that perfect coffin shape that we want. And then also blending the nail tip right in the middle. And that's pretty much it. So we're going to do that on all of the nails. And basically just alternate between side to side. And again, these are not going to take that much filing because they're already coffin. But we just want to make sure that, the nail tip is literally, perfectly on their nail. We don't want to hang it off, not even just a little bit. So we want to make sure that it goes exactly from sidewall to sidewall, towards the free edge. Make sure that we have a nice straight free edge, and then that we blend it in the middle. And yeah, so we're going to do that on all of them, and then we'll move on to the acrylic part. Alrighty, so after we finish reshaping the nails, I'm just going in and dusting the nails off, and then I'm going to go ahead and get my product out. So I'm pouring my monomer, and then as you can see, I'm going to pour a little bit of acetone into my dapping dish, and that just helps the acrylic set a lot faster. I know I've talked about it before, and if you just add a few drops of acetone to your monomer, it helps it dry a little bit faster. So if you feel like it's too runny for you, that's something that you can definitely do to help with it being so runny. But anyways, before we apply the acrylic, as always, we have to go in and apply the primer, and I'm just using my Young Nail Protein Bond. As always, it's worked really good for me. I haven't had any problems with it, you know, at all. So I do highly recommend it. Or if not, you could always just use whatever primer you are comfortable using. You know, especially if it's like the same brand as your acrylic, that is completely fine. I just used this one because a while back I had a little bit of a problem with lifting, and I had heard a lot of good things about it, which is why I decided to use this one. But anyways, we're gonna go ahead and start off with the Mia Secret acrylic in the color pink, which is the one that I always use. And then I'm using my alpha brush in a number 10. As always, I do have a promo code for the acrylic, and then I'll be sure to leave the link down below to the brushes as well. Alrighty, so as you guys seen, I did my first bead right in the middle where the natural nail and the tip meets. The second one I'm going to apply right below that one. So place my bead down, pat it down, and then brushing it down towards the tip. Remember that when you're applying your acrylic, you want to make sure that you brush the acrylic super gently, because if not, you're going to be brushing it off the nail, and it's going to basically defeat the purpose of you even placing the acrylic down. So make sure that you're really gentle and just brush it out until it's completely smooth. But when you brush it down, like, you're literally just feathering it down, because I do it so gently, especially when you apply this bead right here, which is going to start building the apex. As you can see, I place it down, but I want most of the product to stay in that area. So when I brush it down, it's like I'm just blending it in, because again, I want that product to stay there. So I literally just blend it in with the rest of the nail. After this, we're going to go ahead and apply another bead to there. And remember that when you're doing acrylic nails, you want to make sure that you're paying attention to your nail. Make sure that you look at it from different angles, because you will be able to determine where you need to add a little bit more acrylic, you know, whether it's your tip, your apex, wherever. But you want to make sure that you go back in and, you know, just look at it and just add wherever it's needed. So you don't necessarily have to stick to the 4-ball method. Yes, it helps a lot for beginners, but once you start doing the nails, you know, just make sure you look at it from different angles. As you can see, anytime that you see me lift the nail, that's me looking at it from the side or from the top. So make sure that you do the same. So we're going to go ahead and do the same thing for this one. These two are just going to be plain nails, because we're going to go in and apply the bling. So there's no need to apply any colored acrylic. But for the other 3 nails, we are going to be using some glitter, some colored acrylic, and some foil as well. But again, same thing for this one. We'll apply the first bead right in the middle where the natural nail and the tip meets. We're going to apply the next one right below that one. Remember, you want to make sure that you're really gentle when you're brushing down that acrylic. And once I get my bead, remember, we dip our brush into the liquid and into the powder, place it on the nail, and then I wipe my brush off on the paper towel. I do not dip it back into my liquid. I know I had that question earlier today. The only time I dip my brush into the liquid is when I'm gonna get another bead. I don't just dip it into the liquid to brush my acrylic down, only whenever I am getting a bead of product. If you are having problems with your liquid to powder ratio, maybe your beads are either too dry or too wet, I do recommend that you go watch my video with my practice sheet. You could always just download it and practice your beads and your 4-ball method. I know it's helped a lot of people, so I'll be sure to leave the link down below for you guys. I just uploaded it like last week, so if you missed it, most definitely go check it out if you're having problems with your product consistency. But anyways, we're gonna go ahead and finish this nail off. We're just applying another bead closer to the middle, just brushing it down towards the tip. Remember that especially when the nails are longer, you want to make sure that you have a nice apex and a nice thickness at your tip. Okay, so moving on to the middle finger. So for this one, we're going to go ahead and do a layer of the Mia Secret Pink. So we're just doing a really thin layer. That way, next time whenever she comes, if she wants to get rid of the colored acrylic, we can just follow it away and then she'll still have the pink underneath. And then after that, we're going to go in with some foil, some colored acrylic, and glitter. So I'm just cutting up the little pieces of foil. And then I'm using the Mia Secret pink acrylic and the color Ice Cream. You can find the colored acrylics on Nail Supply Glamour's website, on Brush Nail Supplies, which I have a promo code for both of them, or you can even find them on Amazon. Whatever is more convenient to you is completely fine. So don't think that you just have to get it wherever I get it. But as you can see, this one is kind of going to be like a marble, so I did the pink, and then I'm going in with the frosted pink, which this one I got from the Brush Supply. What is it called? Brush Nail Supply? Yeah, Brush Nail Supply, sorry. But Nail Supply Glamour should have it as well. I usually kind of just alternate from both stores, you know, depending on which store has what I need. I just shop from both of them. But anyways, after we go in and apply the glitter, we're just going in and applying some foil. And the glitter is actually by Tammy Taylor. It's I believe it's called Hearts of Gold. And we're just applying a little bit like in between the two colors, and then again just doing the foil. And then after this, we're gonna go ahead and encapsulate this with the Mia Secret Pink, or as always, you can use your clear. I just choose to use this one because I have a lot of it. But remember that when you're encapsulating the colored acrylic, especially because it has the foil, you want to make sure that you fully encapsulate it, because if not, you will be filing away that colored acrylic and the foil, and you definitely do not want that. Alrighty, so for the ring finger, we're going to be doing an ombre with the glitter. But first, we have to go in with the Mia Secret Pink. We're just going to do a bead closer to the cuticle area and brushing it down towards the tip. After that, we're going to go in with the gold glitter. We're going to apply it on the tip. And again, it's going to be more of an ombre, so that's why we're only doing it on the tip. So placing it right in the middle, brushing it down towards the tip. And then we're going to kind of blend it in the middle. That way, it's not just a straight line. After that, we're going to go in and apply a little bit of glitter. And this is going to be some of my sequins. And I'm only going to be doing the pink ones. So I'm kind of just picking them out of the little container, because this one actually came with different colors. So I'm literally just picking out all of the pink ones and just randomly placing them on the nail right over the glitter. And then we're going to come back in and add a little bit of the gold foil in between. And then after that, we're going to encapsulate this nail with the Mia Secret Pink. Alrighty, so lastly, we're going to do this thumb, and we're basically going to do the exact same thing we did on the middle finger. So we're doing the base of the Mia Secret Pink, and then we're going to do the marble with the pink and the frosted pink. And then we're going to do the glitter and the foil in between the lines. And then after that, we're going to encapsulate it. Alrighty, so we finished this hand, so now we're going to go ahead and move on to the other hand, and we're going to do the exact same thing. We might switch up, you know, a few fingers here and there, but it's going to basically be the same thing. So I'm just going to go ahead and let you watch, because it's the same process over and over again. You know, it's just a matter of practicing and just remembering each step. That way you're not just kind of all over the place. And then also it helps if you stick to like a certain method. So again, for me, I always do the 4-ball method. So when I'm working, I always do the first bead right at the tip, like in the middle, closer to the tip, the next one right at the tip, the third one closer to the cuticle area, and then the fourth one in the middle to build my apex. Alrighty, so we finished applying the acrylic, so now we're going to go in and reshape the nails. And when I'm reshaping the nails, I go from the side of the nail, which is the nail groove, falling straight towards the tip to make sure that the nails are really straight. And also sometimes after you apply the acrylic, if you applied it too runny, it's going to get over on the side of the nail. So you basically want to get right in between the acrylic and the nail groove. That way the acrylic is not on the skin. So as you can see, I kind of just put my file right on the side of the nail in between the acrylic and their skin. And then I always put my thumb over on the side. That way I don't cut the side of their nail. So you want to make sure that you're really careful, because sometimes if not, you will cut into their skin with the file and it is not pretty, and I'm sure it hurts them really bad. So you want to make sure that you're super careful. But anyways, we're gonna go ahead and reshape the nails. Again, we follow the sides in the fridge at exactly a 90-degree angle. Alrighty, so after we finish reshaping the nails, I'm going in with my fine drill bit, and these I get from Amazon, and they are the Pana brand. I get their extra fine one, the fine one, and the extra coarse one. So as I mentioned in my previous video, I kind of just alternate between the fine one and the extra fine one depending on my clients, and I know who's sensitive and who's not too sensitive. And so yeah, so that's kind of how I determine that. But as always, whenever we're using this, we're just following around the cuticle area, going from the right side over to the left side, and then just following the rest of the nail to make sure that it's nice and even and smooth. But always going around the cuticle area first, because that's where you seal the acrylic. If not, you will get lifting. Trust me, when I first started doing nails, I thought that I was doing everything correctly. And I'm like, why are the nails lifting? You know, I'm prepping the nail correctly. I'm applying the right size tips. And then I realized that, you know, whenever I was filing around the cuticle area, I was still scared that I would cut someone. So I wouldn't really do too much back there. But that's what was causing my lifting. Because anytime you don't seal that cuticle area good, any water or just any type of moisture that gets underneath that matte acrylic is going to cause the nail to lift and then possibly could cause a greenie, and we all know that those are not cute. So spend a little bit more time on the cuticle area. Remember, if you're still not as comfortable with your drill, just lower it down and kind of just work your way, you know, as close as you can to that area, and then as you get a little bit more comfortable, then just speed it up. But definitely take your time, you know, and just getting used to your drill and just getting comfortable with it. Alrighty, so after we finish filing the nails, I'm just going in with the buffer, and this is just going to get rid of any of the scratches left on the nail from the hand file or the e-file. So make sure that you buff really, really good. Alrighty, so after we finish buffing, we just dust the nails off, and then I'm just going in with an alcohol wipe and just wiping those nails really good. Or of course, you could have your client go wash their hands, whatever works for you best. And then after this, of course, we're not going to do any polish because they are we did the colored acrylic, but we are going to be applying some bling. So on the nails that we didn't do any colored acrylic and just did plain, those are the nails with the bling. And we're going to use the Color Club color and the color harp on it. So I guess we are using polish, but we're just going to do this as a base for the bling. The reason why I like this color is because it kind of matches the bling. It has that holographic look to it, you know, just iridescent. So if anything falls off, it's not too noticeable. But yeah, so we're going to go ahead and apply this on 2 fingers on each hand, and we're going to let it dry for a little bit. And then after that, we're going to go in and apply some bling. Alrighty, so for the bling, I'm going to be using the Soleil Nail Adhesive. So I do highly recommend it. It works really good. As you guys know, I used to use the Mia Secret Gel Resin, which worked really good as well. But this one just works a lot better. So as you can see, I just applied it on the nail. And then with my wax pencil, I just pick up my bling, place it on the nail. And I always alternate between the 2 different sizes. And then if you are applying like bigger pieces, just go ahead and apply those on the nail first. And then just fill in the rest of the nail, you know, with the other smaller ones afterwards. But again, make sure you put those first. And then I'm also going to throw in some of the neon pink ones, which I will have on the website really soon. I had a lot of people asking about them, and they're so freaking pretty. And you can just throw them in between the AB bling, and they just stand out so much. But yeah, so that's how I apply my bling. As usually whenever I apply the glue, I always, for some reason, I think it's just a habit, but I start around the cuticle area going to the right side, and then just filling in the rest of the nail as I go. It's like I go around the perimeter now. I go around the perimeter and just fill in the rest of the nail. And then I'm just gonna do a few little gold pieces in between as well. And these are just little random, you know, triangles, hearts, whatever, just random little ones. And then yeah, just filling in the rest of the nail, and then just applying glue as you need it, because sometimes the glue will dry a little bit faster. So just add glue if you feel like it's not sticking anymore, or you will be able to see it as well. Just add a little bit more glue. But yeah, so that's how I apply my bling. And then once all the bling is on the nail, I usually go around the perimeter of the nail with the glue, and then I spray the nail with the Mia Secret Dry Resin Activator, which is going to help that glue dry a lot faster, because since it is a resin, it's a lot thicker than just regular nail glue, so it takes a little bit, you know, longer to dry. But with the activator, it's like it instantly just dries the glue. So I do recommend the activator if you're using the Soleil nail adhesive. Alrighty, so I just applied the last little bling. So now I'm going to go in with that same glue, just outlining the perimeter of the nail. And then we're going to spray it with the activator. And then, or actually we're going to go ahead and do the other nail, and then coming back in and spraying with the activator. And then for this one, I thought she was going to want it like the other one, but she actually wanted the 3D pieces in the middle. So you will see me stop in a bit, and I'm going to go ahead and apply the big pieces in the middle. And for those, anytime that I use the 3D pointed back bling, I always use the hard gel for those. So you will see me go in and apply a bead of the hard gel, place the bling right on top of it to where it kind of sinks into the glue or the hard gel, and then I'm gonna go ahead and finish filling in the entire nail. But again, I kind of just alternate between the different sizes. I'll do a SS6, a SS12, and I just go back and forth, and that way I'm just filling in the gaps. If you only use one size, you're gonna have little gaps in between your bling, so that's why I like using, you know, at least two sizes. But anyways, as you can see here, I applied the hard gel, and then I'm gonna go in with the bigger pieces and just apply them right over the top of the nail to where they sink into the glue. And then this hard gel does have to be cured, so we are going to be placing this nail or this hand under the light for 60 seconds for that hard gel to dry. Alrighty, so we're going to go ahead and let that hand dry, and then now we're going to go ahead and do the same thing on the other hand, except for this time we're doing the pointed back bling on the pinky. So as you can see, I applied the hard gel and then I'm applying the bling. Again, you always want to make sure you do the bigger pieces first. The only reason why I did them, you know, afterwards on the other hand was because she didn't say anything until like after I had already started applying them. So just go ahead and apply these big ones and then fill in the nail with the smaller ones. Alrighty, so we're finishing up this hand as well. We're just outlining the perimeter of that now. And then after that, we're going to go ahead and apply the Madam Glam Gel Top Coat on the rest of the nails. And then we're going to cure each hand for 60 seconds. Alrighty, so once the nails dry, we're going to go ahead and just apply a little bit of cuticle oil and just massaging it in. And this is just so, of course, her nails or hands and fingers are nice and moisturized when we take her picture. So here is the final look. As you can see, they turned out really pretty. You guys know that my favorite color is pink, so I definitely love this set so much. That shape and length is just perfect. I love that foil in there as well, and it's just literally perfect. So as always, I hope you guys enjoyed. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter at GetNail32, and I'll see you guys next time.